What's going on, guys, and welcome back to our Survive in Java series. Yep, we are starting over here at the Sizzle art gallery, and that is because he was kind enough to once again bless us with one of the artworks that he's done in his hardcore survival world. Now, I can show you, this is probably my second favourite to the one that I'm currently using as the top of this shulker box. Like, I'm still in love with the Phoenix sort of stained glass look, and I think that may be because it's very similar to one of my favourite Pokemon cards, which has the 3 legendary birds as the stained glass window, and I don't know, I just think I really love the effect of it. But this is the next one that he made, which I think is absolutely outstanding. It's like the father and mother pouring their mixture into their child, and it's done like in a very ominous sort of manner, and the sort of black and the grey scale of it with the bright luminous like neon blue and neon pink. I think it just works really well within the image. I don't know if it's a famous picture from anything, but I know it's one of the artworks he done on his hardcore survival world, which is just freaking insane. Like, the level of detail in the maps is well beyond detail that I thought you could ever get inside of a map, so I'm absolutely happy to have it as a new addition to our art gallery here, which I do actually have to go round and tidy up. I've still got a whole bunch of different random bits and pieces here, where I was making all of the pots. So I've got every single one of the different patterns of the pots on the front, and they're sort of lining this side of the actual walkway, which is another sort of completion thing that we can do. Like, I'm fairly sure they're adding like new armor trims, so I may do a display of all of the armor trims upstairs once I've decided how to implement them upstairs. And these guys are now still trying to fly towards me. I can't even remember where we got these guys from, but I know it's from an island nearby when we was going headhunting for one of the heads around here. But yeah, the heads are sort of coming along bit by bit. I know that we got a bunch of these ones earlier on, well, not earlier on like today, but earlier on since I was last over here. Also got all of the pandas. I don't know if I updated you on them. All of the villagers, barring the nitwit. Just a whole bunch of the random heads here and there. Are they coming to me? Look, can you like... Are they just... Okay, so they are just trying to fly towards me. That's fine. I was wondering if there was something in particular I was holding that was making them like track me, but it was just because I'm the one that they've imprinted to. So we've got all of our pottery shards there, and we've got all of Cloud's heads, which we also need to put on display somewhere. And then these are a bunch of other random heads, like player heads and whatnot, that we've sort of accumulated over time. And I will find somewhere probably upstairs. Like, once I've sorted out a way of getting upstairs, then I'll probably have like armor stands displaying along the inside of these columns, and then around this side we'll probably do another bunch of the head displays. So we'll see how that goes. But today's episode, what we are going to be focusing on is a basalt generator, and we're going to be building this in the nether, and that is because the lava actually travels quicker in the nether, and I've already got a design at hand and I know a location of where I want to put it. Dude, you are really just eager for me to look at you, aren't you? So otherwise you're going to get civilian well. Also, if you can hear squeaking in the background, that is the new puppy who's going crazy with some toys downstairs. And I can update you now that my other dog is completely not happy still with the new addition to the household. Quite frankly, he's very loud and he's very energetic, and the other dog's sort of older, so he's like me, more grumpy old man stage. And the noise and energy, especially first thing in the morning, is like the last thing you want. So he's currently hibernating upstairs behind me as I'm recording. But yeah, where I want to build this, what I'll do is actually make a quick cut, because otherwise it's going to be a very, very long flight over there. So as you could probably have told in that time, that's what we were actually doing, was removing a 3x3 chunk of the bedrock, and I've directed it pretty much smack bang in the middle of our barring hall, because that is where I want us to be building the basalt generator, which is up there. And the reason why I wanted a 3x3 hole is because I wanted to make an actual flying elevator that would take you from the barring hall up to there, to save you having to go up a ladder and then sort of fly it all the way over to the basalt generator. And I wanted it to be in a biome where obviously we're not going to get stupid spawns of magma cubes and zombified piglins, so I thought the best area to be would be a warped forest. So it did take around about 45 to 50 minutes sort of clearing this section out, and I've had to do a 3x3. I ended up having to take out these side bits as well, just so I could take out the 3x3, and I sort of lucked out on some of the placements of where bedrock was already missing in order to get some of the lower layers done. So extremely lucked out, but I'm also going to have to remove some of this obsidian and try to figure out the redstone in order to get the flying machine to stop at this level without it having a block directly above, in order to stop it from flying all the way up, because I want it to be like a smooth 3x3 floor that actually comes all the way up. So that's going to be tricky, and these are like the resources that I had aside in order for breaking the bedrock. So I've got a ton of pistons, levers, trapdoors, TNT and whatnot, and then these are just rails. What was that I brought rails with me for? Oh no, the rails is what I broke, so I was tidying up like where we done the cat sanctuary. I had all of the resources, like the tracks, still running across the nether roof, and it was looking extremely messy. So what we're going to do is have the basalt generator probably a little ways over here, just so it's not directly above. So say like center point around about here-ish. This one with the slime block is the one with our flying machine resources on us, and then the rest of these are for our basalt generator farm, and the lava for it. So yeah, what we're going to do is hop into another quick time lapse of me building this thing. It's not overly intricate or overly complicated. It's just a completely fully AFK-able basalt generator. So yeah, let's crack on with it. Okay, so that didn't actually take too long. I think it was around about 45 minutes, if that, in order to get this thing built. Now, I've not tested it, so what we have done is prime in the TNT duper first of all. So this should hopefully not cause any mass explosions after the first flick of the lever. Let's put a lever, say, anywhere around here should be fine. And then the first one should be fine. Oh, I was not meant to drop there. Okay, so nothing that was not intended blew up, which is fine. Let's just make sure that the TNT duper is still working. Awesome. Hopefully it's not taking out any of the lower things. But we're going to leave that for a second. Now I've linked the upper clock with the downstairs clock, so that way we'll get a lot more activations of our pistons and our basalt generating, rather than every single generation run that TNT gets duped. Otherwise we're just going to end up with really, really bad times, because TNTs will blow each other up and they'll go flying out of the intended space. So yeah, let's just see how this goes. I've not tested it yet, so I have no idea if this is even going to generate. It should generate it, because in my test world it worked. So let's just see how this goes. Okay, so it's generating the basalt fine, and the TNT should start dropping down, unless I've unlinked it. Oh no, okay. So the TNT is now going off, that's good. Okay, so what I may need to do is lower that obsidian, because this is generating the basalt a lot quicker than I am sending off bits of TNT. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, maybe if I lower that obsidian by, say, 2 blocks. That way we're not going to get the loss that's landing on the outer edges, although the loss is sort of getting knocked out onto the hoppers, so I guess it's technically not loss. But I would much rather it if it was blowing up the bottom section, or we can increase the frequency of the TNT drops. Which I guess we can increase by just taking out 1 or 2 of the items from the hopper block at the top, so... Oh. Let's go on up here. First of all, actually, let me turn this off. Say turn you off. Stop you from doing all your bits and pieces. Make sure there's no more TNT. I want to lower that obsidian block by at least 2, I think. So if we go 1, 2. So we want it about there. Can we like get up here to change this? Brick Q, brick Q. That way it should start taking out these lower levels rather than just the upper levels. And we shouldn't have so much overflow because we're getting a bunch of them landing outside of our hoppers. Although I guess we can extend the hopper range if we really want to. But let's see how that does and whether or not increasing the... or decreasing the amount of items in our hopper block up top for our TNT duper. Okay, so that is now taking out the bottom layers. But I definitely think with how quick it's generating, we can probably increase the frequency of the TNT by like 1 or 2 items. I think we are going to have to expand our hopper tray as well. Yeah, okay, so let's turn you off for a second. Go up here. Make the needed adjustments. How many items have we got? 9. Say 7. See if 7 works is a better number. And then we want to expand the hopper tray, don't we? Because we are getting some loss. So let's just do 1 on either side and then maybe 1 at the back, depending how many hoppers we got left. We've got 5. Any hoppers in here? Anywhere? We don't want scaffolding to go there. Do that. Put all of this stuff away that we don't need on us. You we don't need on us. All of this stuff we don't need. Hoppers we do need. And we'll keep the levers and our stick on us. And then let me grab our redstone box. And grab some hoppers from here. And then we're going to do another row just at the back, just to catch that sort of overflow that I obviously missed out on recognising. Okay, let's see how this goes. Hopefully the TNT isn't too quick, like frequency wise. Okay. That's fine. Next TNT. Okay, so that is literally like perfect sort of timing, because some of them are just reaching the end of their cycle before the next lot of TNT drops. And we're getting maximum sort of basalt generation and harvesting for it, which is awesome. So that is actually the easy part of this entire project, because the hard part is actually going to be building a 3x3 elevator to come up here. But this should solve any of our basalt needs that we're going to have in the future, because it's generating like, I think it works out as like a stack every 10 seconds. It looks like more than that, actually. I didn't actually time or calculate exactly how much it's generating. But it's definitely generating more than we're ever going to need. Which is awesome. Am I going to get hurt if I stand directly under it? Yes, the answer is yes, I am going to get hurt. Let's see, so it's like 10, 20... It's around about 40 to 50 bits of basalt it's generating every single TNT explosion, which is just shy of a stack. That is pretty good, actually. I'm quite happy with that. As far as basalt generator is completely AFKable, and it's very, very hard to break. The only way I think that we're going to break it is if we unload it and then load it with it running, because there's just unfortunate with the TNT troopers, if it receives like 5 signals one after the other, I don't think it's going to break anything up top. I think the only thing it will break is then TNT flying to break these chests and maybe hoppers. And usually I would waterlog like trapdoors above the hoppers to prevent that sort of situation, but being in the nether we can't exactly waterlog anything, can we? But yeah, nevertheless, that's the actual basalt generator part done, which I'm quite happy with. Now comes the fun task of trying to build this freaking elevator. Okay, like the down part, the bottom section, I don't think it's going to be too difficult. The top section, try and figure out to fit redstone in the top here, is going to be a freaking nightmare. So what I may do is a time lapse of me building the bottom section, because I know I'm not going to have to sort of freestyle any of that. I just need to dig out an area and build it. But the top section, it's probably going to be the better part of around about 2 hours to dig out around this section of bedrock to see where exactly I can fit redstone, and I'll probably end up having to take a schematic of this section in order to figure out in a test build how to do the redstone. But yeah, that's the basalt generator up and running at least, so I'm quite happy with that. And if you're wondering how comes I've used crying obsidian for this, it is just so the natural light level of this will prevent endermen from spawning on the contraption. And I think the only place that they will spawn is maybe... actually no, they can't even spawn up there, can they? I was thinking spawning on top of the basalt, but I think it's all relatively well lit by these bits of crying obsidian anyway. So I think we're going to be alright on that front. I'm quite happy with the way it works as well. It didn't take too long to design it. Like, the general concept of how to generate salt isn't overly complicated. It's just a mixture of lava, blue ice and soul soil, and that will create the basalt generator. It was just working out the clocks and having it funnel down into this sort of formation to make sure that every bit of TNT is maximised for its explosion, and tweaking the timings of everything. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the way it's all working, and let's move on to this freaking elevator. So yeah, I guess I'll catch you back after. Probably a lot of frustration on my part, because it's probably going to take a while to get done. So yeah, catch you back in a bit. Alright, so it took some doing in order to get the section up top sort of done, in order to allow it to stop where it was meant to. The first couple of tests I didn't have the blocks in the correct place, I had to then move around some redstone. But underneath basically we got a 2-section sort of fly machine. One half is being driven by the honey block, one half is being done by the slime blocks. That way we're not overstressing each of the sides, which is allowing it to fly in a 3x3. And then we just got a 2 sort of signal thing. The first one activates and primes the elevator, and then the next signal activates the bottom fly machine, which then makes the entire contraption go up. So what we can do is press this button, and I don't think we can really move around when it's flying up, but we can go into FreeCAN to have a look to see what it looks like. So yeah, it's just a very confined 3x3 sort of fly machine. And then once I sort of built the bottom section and tested it out, I forgot to remove a section of this netherrack over here, which means the fly machine first of all got stuck going halfway up, which was not fun because I had to take down an entire warped wood tree and then a bunch of the netherrack in order to allow it to seamlessly fly all the way up. And then, as you can see, what it is that actually stops it is these two chisel blocks and these two chisel blocks. One side stops the slime side and one side stops the honey side. And then I had to sort of weave it in and out the redstone. I ended up having to take a schematic of the bedrock in order to figure out a way to get the redstone running. So we've got a redstone line. I also had to remove a couple of bits of bedrock in over here, this section, in order to be able to reach this section over here, in order to get our repeaters and our sort of delayed timer using the comparators. So then we got the repeater then goes into this block, which then I had to extend with a false and negative sort of system. So that way the pistons are permanently extended until they receive a signal. The signal delayer is what keeps the pistons sort of withdrawn, or what is it? Not extended. What's the opposite of extended? Non-extended? I have no idea what the opposite is at the moment. So when that happens and it sort of creates a negative impulse, that this way all of these pistons will retract, that's the word I was looking for, will retract and allow the flying machine, so it won't, well, it will no longer be held in place. And then once that is done, there's a second signal which travels, it is somewhere down here, down bedrock, and then across the netherrack over to here to this observer, which then triggers the flying machine to then go down. Oh god. So yeah, trying to get this in the place that it is in is a little bit of a nightmare, but what we are going to do is grab all of the rando resources. I have to do that in order to get the map to work, which is slightly annoying that I have to do that each time. And then pick these guys up. Let's pick you up. And then I want to also crap. Have we got much room in any of these? This one's got a little bit of room. If we do that, see if we can't store a bunch of this stuff in here. Awesome. You've got a bunch of room actually that we can utilize. Like anything that we don't want on us that can be thrown into the sorting system when we get back is going to be doing that. Okay, so pick you, all up. We don't want anything that's like spawnable up here. And then we can pick you two up and you. And do we want to, you know what, I'm going to leave this here just in case. And then what we can do is take this elevator back down and then take the ice boatway. There you go. Take this elevator back down and then take the ice boatway back to base. And then we can spin the wheel to see what our next main project's going to be. I know that this one is going to be going out a week late, and it's not due to the complexity of the project. It is due to the fact that I've come down with a bug. My throat was killing me to the point where my voice kept on dropping in and out, which made recording just impossible. So the only thing I've mainly been doing over the past week is sort of recuperating, resting up, and doing the background bits and pieces, like resource gathering for projects, and that's projects for both here and the modded server. I've not done any recording in the last week, so trying to get back in the swing of it again is a little bit annoying, but this project is now done and dusted, so I will meet you back at base to spin the wheel. Home sweet home. I've sworn Steve in just so this area is now loaded. He's just down there. Here's Steve. So we can throw a bunch of this garbage into the sorter to go through and be sorted, save me having to put it away. I've not filled out the other spots that were missing, so we've got 1, 2, 3 empty spots, but we're just going to bank on it not actually landing on them and just pray and hope, really. So yeah, let's see what we're going to be doing. And we're on 5, which is a good and bad thing. Good because we're not missing any of the items on row 5. But what ones are dreadful? Mangrove tree farm, wool farm, industrial bamboo farm, super smelter, record farm, pig farm and moss farm I think are the ones that are on the board. None of them are like highly dreadful. We have got a negative modifier on 5, so let's pray it doesn't land on 5 again, I guess. And we are on 8. So 5 and 8, that is that one all the way up there, which is fantastic because I can't frickin' reach that high. Okay, what have we got in our pocket that we can build out of? Coal blocks, that'll work. So it is a moss/bone meal farm, which I think I know the area that I actually want to build this in. I don't know what design I want to go with, but I know the area. It's the area that we're going to need the most bone meal, I think. Actually, there's probably 2 different areas that we can use for, like, really use bone meal. Why is there bamboo here? Okay. Strange. Yeah, but that's going to be the next project. So that is one more down off the wall. And what I'm thinking is, rather than having adding more with the ones that are missing, I may wait until the next update and keep some of the spots free. We're going to be doing moss bone meal farm. And keep like some of the spots free, so that way when the update drops any new farms that we want to add to the board, we can add straight away to the board, rather than having to wait until we do one of the older projects in order to undertake like the possibility of doing one of the new ones. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 spots now available. So yeah, I need to think of some sort of massive over the top moss farms / bone meal farms that we can make use of. I've built a few, but none on here. Like, I know that I've built a few on, I think I've built 2 or 3 on Size server already, and I've built a couple in a test world before when I was testing out the initial mechanics of the moss farm, but I don't think I've actually built a moss farm on this server yet, which is surprising considering the amount of moss I've got. But I tend to mine a lot of this just naturally, and usually when I want moss, I'll usually just get a piece of moss, put it down on some dirt, bone meal it, and then mine it with a hoe. It doesn't take too long, but to make it a viable sort of bone meal farm, I guess getting into it for an area that's going to need a copious amount of bone meal probably isn't a bad idea. But nevertheless, that is definitely going to do it for today's episode. We are now hitting nearly over the 30-minute mark, if my maths is correct. I'll see what I can trim down from the episodes. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'm pressing the wrong button here. I meant to be going this way. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.